Welcome back into the workshop for another Dave's Diary update. And what have we got to say? Whew, is probably what I'm going to say. The change in orientation for the arm, this particular arm on the parallel arm guide, got me very close to having when I close the arms up each way, so swing it round, I got it very close to where this and this would look even, meaning the discrepancy that I did have, which would have always resulted in out of square or parallel cuts, was greatly reduced. So that was a good thing. I've just checked for parallel in this position, which is going to be hopefully the position where it mostly will operate. The parallelness, if there's such a word, very, very close to being, well, whatever I could possibly get it. And that's one of the things. It might be prudent for me to not really use it in this closed up position. Be that this is where I can find how much things are aligned or not. But that said, I'm pretty happy with this. I've changed the way I can adjust it. And I made mention in the previous video that rather than have a long thread like I did, and it would work fine, but it was always flopping around and catching me when it was out on this other end here. It wasn't that great. I was going to put a 10mm threaded rod in there because I bought specifically for that reason a tap and die for a 10mm rod that had a 1mm pitch. So I wanted to retain that idea of having an ability to turn the thread one full revolution to give me 1mm. So if I was trying to hone in and like focus in on a particular measurement, I had that ability to turn the thread, doesn't matter which diameter, but the one with the 1mm pitch, I could dial it in much easier. So that was the thinking. Then I had a couple of other ideas. Excuse my croaky voice. It's always annoying. It's still there. But I went to get some parts, some bolts and nuts and what have you to try and do this, when I had that idea of having the thread in here, and I could turn the thread in and out or whatever. And then I thought, hang on. If I have a bolt, which I've done, I've actually drilled a larger hole on this side to allow the bolt to go through, a pan-headed bolt. I could then put the bolt in there and put a nut on it to have the thread fixed. And it's not the thread that I'm turning, it's this. And this is actually one of those long brass nuts that go up on underneath kitchen faucets. And you need that to get it through obstacles, etc., and like distances. And that's what that was from. And I had a couple of these in my box of bits and pieces. And I thought, hang on, that gives me something to grab onto. So that's good. And I can turn it. It's a bit stiff because it's catching on the custom wood. So I'll just grab a wee spanner. It wasn't before, but it only had to start doing that when I started the recording, didn't it? Yeah, right. But I may have to, I don't want to have too big a hole in the custom wood, because then this would, that would afford it the ability to flop around a bit, which I'm trying to prevent as much as possible. So if I just get this out, too much. And I can wind it out, and in a way it's not a bad thing, but I can wind it out to get my thread into the right position, or this brass nut into the right position. Now you wouldn't want to do this every time you adjusted things, I know, but it was actually freely running before. Oh, mind you, I know what's happened. I put a 0.9mm packer in here. So it has adjusted the alignment of the pin ever so slightly. Well, how fascinating. But if I have to do this, I'm not worried about it spinning freely and certainly not free and moving when it's being used. Anyway, bear with me. Well, you're going to have to. But I can now turn this. Let's just pretend it's turning freely. And I can position my packers to give me my distance. And that means using a combination of packers allows me a wide range of movement without having a long range of movement on the thread. So I can go from there right down there, and I can wind that in 60 to 65 millimeters. If I'm there, come into this position, just have a look at the different combinations of things. From there, if I want to wind it in or out, but I can turn that, and because I know the full revolution is 1 millimeter, I'm actually moving this in and out by that amount. Now it swings that way in varying degrees depending upon how closed up or opened up the arms are. It's not an issue for me to worry about because it's this movement. It's the only one I am worried about and need. So just by turning that knob, hopefully off, I will free it up though, to be fair, and the combination of packers, I can have a huge range without having to turn this a lot. So that's a good thing, I would say. So there, and actually it kind of almost locks itself in because these don't want to come out freely. So yeah, it's interesting in itself. But as I said, I'll still have to check it because rose-tinted glasses tend to be worn a lot around here. But now that I've got this capability, it's a really neat little assembly. It's back. I've got a feeling for it like I had before, and that is, yay! And it makes my life, excuse the croaky voice again. Oh dear. Yeah, sorry. But, oh, gee whiz. Cup of tea time. Huh. But it allows a much more, it's like if this were to be built commercially, you'd only have one rail here, but it's starting to get like it would be a proper, rather than a cobbled together and ugly looking item. So, yeah, very nice. Thank you very much. So there we go. David is a little bit happier. I would have been happier, because if I didn't have to +1 it. But this +1, hey, it's not bad. But, as I said, I will be doing a little bit more testing with the bore gauges and see what results we can actually come up with. The idea being is that if I had something like that in there, I bring it up and I can feel. This is just on the anti-splinter strip, or what do you want to call it. So if it can fit in there, I'm just moving it ever so slightly. It's got a little bit of a wriggle. Well, it's not much wriggle left there. And I take it down the other end. No, this is not a good way of doing it. I'm just saying. It's just, ooh, look at that. It's a bit tighter, but pretty darn good. So that alone has given me a wee bit of encouragement. So, at last, something that, well, let's just say I can rely on it a little bit more than I could previously. And I do like that idea a lot. It's just tidied everything up, no end, without having that big, long, floppy 6mm threaded rod sticking out, looking particularly ugly. The one thing I will want to do though is get some fender washers and put on there. That way it helps to lift that pin up, because sometimes it drops down and hits the table, and also helps to hold everything together. Yeah, so I'll do that as well. So at some stage, yeah. That is a bit of a relief, I can tell you, because it was one of those things that was bugging me. You'll probably see it in the videos where I actually ask for your help. Well, it wasn't forthcoming. It wasn't timely. In fact, by the time I load the videos, I've come up with this solution, and yeah, as I say, I'm quite happy with that. And with a little bit of finagling, yeah, I'll be able to turn it by hand a little bit more easily. Yeah, see, it's starting to free up. Okay, so yeah, it's making use of things in the workshop with workshop tools, stuff that we collect. We had no idea what we were going to use it for, and I've had those for many years, and now I've got a use for it. Yeah, very happy. Can you hear it in my voice, in my demeanour? Anyway, there we go. Okay, cup of tea is sounding a better idea all the time. Okay, we'll see you later now. Bye.